Okay, guys. So, quick update here, or maybe not so quick. I'll probably talk for a long time. So, I wanted to update you guys on the situation with my IVIG, um, which is immune globulin. I think it's important to add this to my exosomes playlist and my exosomes updates because I don't know if any of you guys are on this medication and considering doing exosomes or stem cells, but I do think that I can confirm at this point. Sorry, the camera's kind of off. I think I can confirm that the IVIG was interacting with, or something is going on since I did the exosomes. So if you look at my exosomes playlist, and I think it's probably the first check-in or the second check-in or both. I'm complaining about headaches. I'm complaining about neck pain. Eventually, I start talking about how my muscle tightness has gotten worse and that kind of thing. It is related to, I guess, the mixture of the exosomes with the IVIG. I can't blame the IVIG completely for it because the IVIG, I was doing just fine on IVIG prior to doing the exosomes. And sorry if I'm blinking weird. I'm developing some kind of new sensitivity. I don't know if it's my eyeliner or my mascara. I think it's possibly the eyeliner and maybe eyeshadow. I will eventually figure it out. But I I stopped. I talked to my immunologist. She said stop for. She told me to stop until I was 8 months out. I'm 6 months out from the exosomes, and if you've seen the 6 month update, that was before I went back and tried IVIG. I started panicking. You'll see in that update, I wasn't feeling well. But something happened. So I know I'm kind of scattered right now, but I want to make sure that I kind of give a sort of clear picture of what's going on. Well, I don't know what's going on, but at least a clear explanation. So you guys saw my 6 month update. If you haven't seen the 6 month update, go back, probably watch that before this. The last week of July, I was having, like loose stools. I wouldn't say that it was diarrhea, but I noticed that. I noticed I was having morning nausea, like just all of that digestive stuff that I used to have way back when, before I started the IVIG, back in 2018. So I started having those symptoms again. I also started having the frequent urination. As I've told you guys before, my eczema's coming back, and it is kind of just, spreading on my hands. Having all of those issues that I was having prior to starting the immune globulin back in 2018. And it made sense to me because I have been off of my IVIG for, and I'm saying IVIG, I do it subcutaneously, but you guys know what I mean, immune globulin. I've been off of it for 3.5 months as of my 6 month check-in. So I'm starting to panic because I've lost weight and all of that, everything that I talked about in that check-in. So I was like, you know what? I have to try my IVIG again. It's only 5 grams. I do it subcutaneous, which is typically easier on your system because it's not, going through your vein. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait till that week passes, and then I think Sunday was the 31st of July. Here's the weird thing, and I can't remember if I mentioned this in my check-in. I was having the loose stools. I was having, the stomach issues. The stomach issues improved by the end of that week. I don't know when I made the video. I might have made the video earlier that week. My stomach issues improved and actually went the other way by the end of that week. So I was like hungry at the end of that week. Obviously, probably because I had nothing in my body because everything was just like coming out. And another weird thing that happened that week was that my energy level was very stable. And I do think I talked about this. But I wasn't going to count it as improvement because it had only been a week. But I had noticed that during that week, even with all the digestive issues, and and the constant, going to the bathroom, you would think I'd be losing a ton of fluid. And usually when that kind of stuff happens, it's accompanied by fatigue, dizziness, kind of feeling out of it. And I actually felt pretty even. I didn't have tons of energy, but I was feeling pretty even. So I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. My skin has also been pretty good. But I was like, I was panicked because of my weight, because it looks like I've lost somewhere between 2 to 3 pounds, which is a lot for someone that doesn't weigh much to begin with. So I said, okay, Sunday, the 31st, I'm going to do 5 grams subcutaneous of my Gamma Guard, and we'll see how it goes. And I did it, and I started experiencing those side effects: headache, muscle rigidity, whereas I was still having muscle tightness before, but for whatever reason, the IVIG makes the muscles more rigid, whereas without it, the muscles are still tight, but they're not as rigid, if that makes any sense. They seem more elastic, but they're still, tight. And of course, feeling out of it, feeling tired. I did get a little bit of acne, actually. So it's very, very weird to me. I don't know why, or I don't know what's going on between those two things. I have my theories, but I don't want to really say what I think because I'm not a doctor. I do need to speak to my immunologist. There's a lot going on, and you'll see in other videos that are going to be coming up soon, that this is causing this is becoming one of my biggest stressors right now, because I could lose the IVIG, right? If it's not helping me, also if it's not helping me, why would I take it? If it's putting me in more pain, why would I take it? But my thing was that I panicked. Oh, by the way, my bowel movements did seem to normalize by the end of that week, but I went ahead and did the IVIG anyways because I was freaking out, so, even though things seemed to normalize by the end of the week as far as my digestion goes, I wasn't having the nausea in the morning, and I was feeling actually kind of hungry. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do the 5 grams of IVIG. Typically, by the end of the week, if I infuse on Sunday, by the following Saturday and Sunday, it's out of my system. Today is Wednesday, so the 31st was on Sunday, so today is the 3rd of August, and I can already feel the difference. Last night I had neck pain, headache. Today it's a little bit better. It typically peaks Tuesday and Wednesday and then starts to taper off, but I'm already feeling kind of okay today, because I didn't have any IVIG in my system, built up in my system. So it's going to run out of my system pretty quick, I think. So the reason I wanted to talk about this, and add it to the exosomes playlist, is because, number one, if you are on IVIG or SCIG, which is the same thing, just subcutaneous, if you're taking any kind of immune globulin product, you might have this issue if you do exosomes. And you might face the possibility of having to stop, probably permanently or for a really long time. And that can factor into whether you want to move forward with exosomes or not. Because for me, IVIG is the only medication that has ever helped, or that has ever improved my condition in some way. Did it fix me? Did it fix the problem? Did it reverse the illness? No, but it did help. But the other thing is that those early check-ins that I did, I'm pretty sure it was like my first, second, and third month check-ins, where I was complaining about the neck pain, the headache, and all of that. And I do remember that when the neck pain and the headache stuff started, because I had to stop my IVIG, I couldn't start it until 2 weeks after the exosomes. Coincidentally, that's when I started having the headaches and the neck pain, was when I started back on the IVIG. So just as a heads up, if you go back and watch those videos, it may not be the exosomes. The exosomes did make me feel weird. And that's, I'm sure that that's going to be true for anybody that does exosomes. If you have a chronic condition, you're going to feel weird. It's going to affect you in some way. But I think the reason why I was having the bad neck pain and the headache and just feeling really crappy, because I was on it until mid-April. So I was back on it on Valentine's Day all the way to mid-April. So that was like about a month that I was back on it, until I was like, you know what? I think this is making my symptoms worse. So if you see those videos, I can't chalk it up to just the exosomes. I can't blame the exosomes 100% for those symptoms. I do think they were making me feel weird. They're going to make you feel kind of funky in the beginning, but please know that those symptoms were probably worse for me because of the mixture of the gamma guard and the exosomes. Now, like I said, I don't know why. I have, my guess, and I might be experimenting and playing around with some things to see if I'm, if I'm guessing correctly. I could have developed an intolerance, and I am unfortunately still developing intolerances. Like I said, there's something going on with my eyes. I think I've developed an intolerance either to my eyeliner or to something that some kind of makeup that I've been putting on my eyes. And that doesn't seem like a good sign to me, because that means that I'm still having histamine issues and problems like that. It could also be it could also be the IVIG and the reaction I've had to it. It can also just be, when you do exosomes, you do have increased histamine issues. So, like I said, I could have just developed now an intolerance to the IVIG, or it's something immune system related, like it's just too much and it's overwhelming my immune system. And I did notice, even though my hair fallout had sort of slowed down a little bit, yesterday, it was worse. And I was like, that's when my IVIG peaks, usually Tuesday and Wednesday. So it's provoking some kind of weird immune response, along with the exosomes. By itself, it was fine. But these two things I think are like either supercharging my immune system, or they're doing something to my immune system, and it's too much at once. So, if you've seen those first check-ins, your experience on exosomes, if you are not on IVIG, may be better than mine, maybe even more successful, because I get the feeling that this medication may be interfering possibly with the action of the exosomes. My immunologist reassured me that it wasn't. She said it's not going to stop the exosomes from doing what they're doing. But I don't feel so confident about that, especially because of the trajectory of how the treatment has gone. I don't know. 1 month isn't too bad. I was only back on IVIG for about a month, and then I stopped. So hopefully it's not affecting the treatment too much. But I don't know. I really think that this is something, I still don't know what's going on, but I know that my pain did get worse, and the fatigue and feeling kind of just weird has been worse for the last few days since I did the Gamma Guard infusion. So I wanted to make this video. I'm just going to upload it unedited because I want it to be on the playlist as soon as possible. I have other videos coming that are going to be a little bit better looking. By the way, I have a cold sore. So if anybody, I don't know if you guys can actually see it because I'm a little bit far away, but I do have a cold sore. That was another reason why I was freaking out, because I saw the cold sore and right away I was like, my immune system is tanking. My immune system is not functioning because I'm not on my IVIG. And so now I'm getting this cold sore, which, to be honest, that may not be true. Remember that, IVIG and exosomes, they're immune modulators. So it's not just that they're strengthening your immune system, they're modulating your immune function. So I have a feeling that if it works, if the exosomes do work, that I may actually get sick more often. After, if they do function the way that they're supposed to function, because they're modulating your immune system. Yes, it does kind of strengthen your immune system. It brings down inflammation, but it also calms your immune system from attacking you so much and being so aggressive. So that would mean that you might be more susceptible to getting, to getting things like cold sores, which are viruses. So I started thinking about it more after I did the infusion, and I was like, that might not be a bad sign. I remember many, many years ago, the first time that I was on IVIG, I got a cold sore. And I started thinking about that. And I remember a nurse telling me, and again, she's not a doctor, neither am I, but I remember her saying something like, that's a good sign. Your immune system is working. Because again, I thought, this is a virus. If I'm having this reactivation of this virus, then the medication's not working. And there is a lot of talk in the Facebook groups for exosomes and stuff like that. They talk a lot about viral reactivation. And, I've been paying too much attention to these people who are also not doctors. But I do see a lot of discussion regarding exosomes and viral reactivation, that if you do it wrong or if you do too much, they can reactivate viruses in the body, which again, I'm not exactly sure if that is true. It might just be a theory that patients have. But obviously, once I saw the cold sore, I was like, oh my God, the viruses are reactivating. So I will keep you guys posted. I am in a very stressful situation right now with the infusion pharmacy and with my prescribing doctor. And it's this was not part of the plan. I was reassured. Sorry, my voice is like, I'm losing my voice. I was told from the beginning, before I did the exosomes, that I would be able to continue with my immune globulin infusions. This was not expected, and so I don't know what's going on. But I will be seeing my immunologist at the beginning of September, and I'm gonna have to postpone probably seeing my neurologist until after I see her, because I have to figure out what this is, whether I'm gonna need my IVIG in the future, whether I'll even be able to be on it again. I'm stressing out a lot. I'm stressing out a lot over it, but at the same time, my appetite had normalized at the end of that week. Things seemed to kind of normalize a little bit at the end of that week. And I was, and I could tell the difference between that week when my energy was even and, stable, and then as soon as I did the IVIG. So there was that big contrast, and I was like, yeah, the IVIG is definitely doing something to me. And I'm not, it's not making me feel good, which again, my IVIG did not do that prior to the exosomes. So it's something going on, there's a reaction between the two that my body is just not liking. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here. I will upload this. I'm going to have other videos coming up. There's going to be one talking about my prescription and what's going on with the prescription. And I think that one is also going to be on the exosomes playlist because it's kind of part of this whole situation. So thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one.